Welcome to Be Seen Season 2. Hosted by yours truly, Divina Duven.
Hola mis amores, welcome back to another episode of To Be Seen Season 2. Today's guest is a drag queen, poet, yoga instructor, and host. Based in Bloomington, she is a core part of the local drag and performance community, where she can be found performing, hosting, or working behind the scenes at the back door. She is the creator and co-host of her very own podcast, Two Dirty Chais. She has hosted benefit shows, open stages, as well as her own productions that aim to blend drag and poetry. She has performed on stages such as Bloomington Pride Fest and some of your favorite local drag shows such as Riot Night, Beyond the Binary, and many more. It is my pleasure to welcome to the TV scene stage, Peacock the Phoenix.
Oh my goodness. Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome, Peacock. How are you feeling today?
Honey, the fact that you called me and said, you better show, I said, how could I not?
Yes, and I am so happy and was so excited to get to sit here with you and
Yeah.
have this little conversation. You look absolutely stunning.
Oh, honey, have you looked at yourself? I look
Thank you.
stunning. You look
Thank you.
exquisite.
Thank you. We had to do pull out a little look.
Honey, that's what we did.
Yes. So I want to get us started and I want to learn a little bit more about you and your
Okay.
story. So would you tell the audience and people that maybe have never seen you before, how would you describe yourself?
Well, first and foremost, I am Peacock the Phoenix, honey, the one, the only, up to the moon and down to hell. I'm Peacock the Phoenix. Now, I will say I've had a lot happen to me throughout my life. And so I think that Peacock the Phoenix has really shown that I can overcome anything, everything, and then some.
Mm-hmm.
And that really is my whole goal to have this. As my peacock feathers, my peacock energy, honey, I'll tell you right here, right now, quick and simple. I'm a very disabled. I've been dead a few times, honey, and I can still rise to the top. And being a performer in drag, and I'm sure I do know this, and everybody watching, it really helps to express how you feel, what's on the inside, and in a hectic world that we live in, why not be you? And honey, this is me. If you didn't know, you do now. And I will say another thing that really got me into doing this, as I said before, I'm disabled. I do not have ears. And everybody's like, oh my God, what is that? That's called bilateral atresia. Bilateral, two sides. Atresia means underdeveloped or not yet even developed. My ears were never developed, but I have about 45% hearing because that little nerve that goes to your brain that comes from your ears, I have that. With that and with doing drag, I have a wig on, I got my tights on, I got my corset on. I can hear about 45%, but I feel so good. I feel so myself because in the drag community, you are who you are, and everyone takes you for that. Am I right or am I right?
Absolutely. And I love everything about what you just told us and your story and the things that you've been through. And I love everything about you.
Oh,
And
honey.
so do so many people. I feel like you are such a bright light in our community, especially in the Bloomington community. That's where I got to know you a little bit better.
Yes.
And every time I get to go down there, I just hope that you're gonna be there because we always have such a great time and you're such a great energy and person to have around. Um, Speaking of performance, I wanted to ask you, do you remember your first ever performance? And how was the leading up to that first ever performance?
So this is a great question, and this may lead to something that you don't know about me.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a drag queen back in 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was CC Marie. I know. What happened in 2015, I did get hit by a car. And when you get hit by a car, that changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
So why I created Peacock the Phoenix is because you rise from the ashes
Yep.
and you become a little Peacock.
Yeah.
So that's really what happened.
Mhm.
With DC Marie, we don't talk about her. You don't want to know about her. But listen, we just love to think about it sometimes. Ah, what a sweet, sweet little thin, tiny piece of. But Peacock the Phoenix first performance, I will not lie to you, with a Janet Jackson song. I
Yes.
love Janet. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't know this, I'm a huge Janet fan. I probably performed, I don't know, 12 of her songs.
I love that.
I love a little
Mm-hmm.
Janet.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say the biggest people there, and this is actually somebody who really helped me come into drag, is if you don't know her, I recommend meeting her. Juniper Perone. She was
Yes.
the first person to put me into my makeup.
Mm-hmm.
She really helped me become myself. And she was there when I did that Janet Jackson song. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it was divine. It was really good. And it made me feel like this is what I really need to be doing. And I kept on going.
Yeah. Um, you're mentioning some of your inspirations, like I know you love Janet,
I
and
love.
some people that have been influential, like Juniper, that
Yes.
help you out before you got started. What are some other of your inspirations or people that you look up to when it comes to being creative and performing?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's anybody who is willing to show themselves their creativity in the way that they do it. So for me, I like to do whatever. I like to get down with it. But my biggest influence is Jennifer Perone.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Santana Sword. She's a really good friend of mine. She knows how to dance.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, she knows how to dance. And I would even say anybody in the local queen who is showing me themselves, I'm like, let me take a note of that. Let me
Mm-hmm.
take a note of that. Oh, let me take a note of that. April Rose, honey,
Yes.
she could get down and then some. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I would even say, like Oliver Clothoff, that drag king,
Mm-hmm.
honey, he knows how to put it down, put it up, and then get it all around.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. I would love to talk about some of the other things you enjoy. I know you have a big passion for writing and poetry, and you have even found ways to incorporate both, like your drag with poetry. So I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about that.
So, one thing about that is drag and poetry are both artistic formats that you can express yourself. So, when you take one plus one and make it a two, it's even more of an expression.
Hmm.
And one thing I really like about poetry is you communicate things that you never thought you could. You really like to tell the kids what's really going on? Write them a poem. Show them the inside of you. And some of my poems are very, very aware about what's going on. I've written some poems about my brother who has since passed. Do I miss him? Absolutely. And that was actually one of the first poems I did in drag with the remembrance poem about him. His name was Robert. If you want to know, you don't have to. But when you do lose somebody and you do have such a level of grief, poetry is a really good way to express that. And I am in drag as my protector, my foundation. Almost like, I want to make sure that I'm safe.
Hmm.
I want to make sure that I can be honest. I want to make sure I can tell you what I'm really feeling. But also, I'm not the only one feeling that way. I think one thing about drag, poetry, any artistic ability is that it helps people to see they're not the only one. And grief is not an easy thing to do at all. So, really overcoming that and utilizing that with my drag and poetry really had helped me to express myself and see who I really am in there. You put a lot of walls up to be in the world that we live in.
Hmm.
Why not try to, break it down a little bit? Do something that makes you feel really comfortable. And that's why I love to do poetry and
Yeah.
drag.
And it is a gift to other people because many times there's going to be people out there that are going to be receiving your art form, that being through a performance or through a poem, and that person might be going through similar experience as you were, and they're going to be able to connect, and even it's a beautiful gift and healing experience overall. And I think those are big themes on what you do, which I love so much. I feel like you make people connect with you and your message, which is so beautiful. You are based in Bloomington, and we can find you at the back door performing, hosting, or as a stagehand helping out. I would love to hear from you. How would you describe the scene in Bloomington? Or would you tell us a little bit more about it and why is it so special to you?
Great question.
Mhm.
We live in Indiana,
Yes.
and Bloomington is the gayest place for me. If I'm not there, I don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there settled the whole thing. The back door, it is a lesbian-owned bar, and very few are left in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So we really need to utilize those that are still out there. I love performing there. It's my home bar. It's where I first performed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I really love doing stagehand because I love seeing what happened behind the scene. You think you know what goes into a drag show, honey? If you're only there to watch it, but you don't know the build-up, the planning, the payout, the lowdown, sometimes the hoedown, but honey, they don't always hoe down. You know what I mean? I know you
Okay.
do. I will stay in at the back door. Stagehand is my favorite thing to do because I get to help them behind the scenes. I love performing. I love hosting. I love putting together my own show called The Birthday Celebration of Peacock the Phoenix that happens every year. Don't miss it next year, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Little side note about that. Our birthdays are very close together, and we're both Aries. So, this past year, actually, your birthday celebration happened to be the day after my birthday. So next year, I'm gonna have to make a little appearance, so we can both celebrate our birthday together.
Oh, honey,
Yes.
you'll be on the docket, don't you worry.
Mhm.
The fact that you're an Aries,
I think that's why we connect so
I
much
really think
sometimes.
so.
Yeah.
And it's very easy for us to connect. We're like,
Hmm.
we didn't even really have to go through all the shindig of the
Right.
shindig of the shindig.
Okay.
We connected.
Yeah.
And
We
I
did.
love that.
I love that too, and I love you, Peacock.
Honey,
Yeah.
you're a celebrity.
Thank you. Thank
Ah,
you. Maybe not yet, but we are making the little steps towards maybe becoming one day. We'll see.
honey, and maybe both of us.
Maybe not a celebrity, but I do want to hopefully become a role model for people and help inspire others through my journey. And I feel like you probably can relate as well.
Well,
Uh,
and I would almost even say you already do.
Thank you.
And I will
Thank you.
say I even already
You
do.
do. You
I
do
know
as well.
that.
Yeah.
And we cannot stop. We shouldn't stop.
Right.
Because if it wasn't for us, people would not be able to come out and enjoy themselves because they don't have the security that we provide.
Absolutely. With that being said, we're going to take our first break of the evening and we'll be right back with some more to be seen with Peacock the Phoenix. Yes.
Thank you for watching To Be Seen. You can see our guest, Peacock the Phoenix, on the next edition of Power on Saturday, July 11th at the Back Door, hosted by Desiree Bouvier. Also happening at the Back Door, you can support their anti-fourth party and fundraiser, featuring performances, music, raffles, and more. Followed by Adonis Drag Show with the Vampire on Saturday, July 18th. And don't miss their monthly open stage the third Wednesday of every month.
Welcome back to Be Seen. This time around, we have the honor of having Peacock the Phoenix in the studio with
Hi
us.
there.
Welcome back. We have a brand new segment here on To Be Seen that's called The Voicemail. And while we were on our break, the phone hasn't stopped ringing. And I think there is a message waiting for you in there. So whenever you're ready, you can pick up the phone and we can give it a listen.
Honey, I'm ready. Ah,
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Peacock. Peacock the Phoenix. It's your good Judy testosterone here. Longtime hater, first time caller. Just calling to say thank you for everything you do for our community down here in Bloomington. From twirling to tip kittening, hosting to heckling, and everything in between. You always make sure that the divas are taken care of and a good time is had. But I just have one question. What would you do if when you okay, so he said yes would go? Don't think about it too hard.
What would I do if? What was the question?
Let's
I'm
see.
so sorry. I was too caught up in the voicemail.
Do you understand what Tess is saying?
Tess is trying to say gibberish to you.
It sounds like that. Okay, good. Honey, I know you. That's some gibberish. Call me when you get it sorted out. Bye.
Even me, the English is not my first language. I feel like at the end, even me, I was like, what is she trying to say? But I think that was the whole point of it. I think that's the whole joke. I want to give a shout out to testosterone. And I think it's a perfect segue to take us into speaking about your very own podcast, Two Dirty Chais, which you are now co-hosting with testosterone. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, one, hi, Tess. I got your
Hi,
call.
Tess. Yes.
Honey, I hope you answer my message. But, honey, that's okay. So, I do a podcast called Two Dirty Chais, and I started it with my best friend at the time. He's in Chicago now, so he could do whatever. But with Wyatt McKinley, Two Dirty Chais to talk about the shindigs of the lowdown of the hoedowns in Bloomington and in the queer community. But now Tess and I are doing season 3 of Two Dirty Chais called Two Dirty Chais with Peacock the Phoenix and Testosterone, where we talk about drag. We talk about Indiana drag. We talk about what it means for us. We talk about what it can do for you. You know what I'm saying? And we also talk about how finding that community in a state where they don't really like us, it's really beautiful to be able to come together and really support each other and show each other that we can express our creativity, our love of ourselves and others in the best way. And Tess and I are doing what you're doing
Mhm.
and trying to really showcase what that means. What that means for us, what that means for you, what that means for all of us, and what that means for Indiana. Because with everything going on right now, which is a shit show and then
Okay.
some, I'm so sorry to say that word.
It is true.
I could have said another word, but
And
I
I feel
couldn't.
like that's putting it nicely to how messed up it is.
I am. Okay, I am. And with all of that, we need to talk about what's going on. We need to talk about the community that we have. And I think the Bloomington drag community is amazing. The back door is amazing. It's my home bar. It's my safe spot. If I'm having like a really bad day,
Mhm.
I work a double and there were, 3 customers who were giving me. And I said, and then they were like, and I go, I gotta go. Sometimes I go to the back door. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't been drinking alcohol for almost 6 years. So you don't have to drink alcohol to do drag. Just know that.
Absolutely.
You can though. I don't. But you can. And sometimes I go to the back door. I get my little Coke with my 2 lemons and my 2 cherries. And I walk around. I go to the drag room and I go, this is what I love.
Mhm.
This is what I love to do. This is where I love to be. And I think it's really amazing that you are creating these spaces as well.
Mhm.
And I think that, yes, I'm the guest, you're the host, the top dog, the head notch. But I also want to give a little shout out to you.
Thank you.
This
Thank you.
whole process that you're doing is amazing. It's what we need. It's what
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
need. If I'm wrong, I'm right.
I couldn't agree more. And thank you so much for seeing it. And you are also creating a similar space with your very own show. And I think the world deserves to have our stories out there, especially queer stories, especially stories of communities and people that I just know that there's many kids out there, and I know I was one someday, that I would see myself represented very little in the media, or I wasn't even sure that people like me existed. So it's nice to put this out there for the next generation to know that they can do whatever they want to do, and they can be whoever they want to be, and they can be gorgeous and stunning while doing so, like us. I want to go ahead and send another shout out to Tess. And I want to tell you, the audience, to keep an eye out for a new season of Two Dirty Chais coming soon. So keep an eye out because you definitely don't want to miss it. We're going to go ahead and take another little break, and we'll be right back with some more.
Toodles.
I hope you're enjoying our episode so far. Here's some more opportunities to see drag in the Indianapolis area. Head out to Greg's Art Place, where you can see some of your favorite RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 11 stars. Always hosted by Patio Weave and featuring a local cast of entertainment. Brought to you by Hard Candy. July 1st, you can see Kennedy Davenport, and on July 22nd, you can see Dawn. Also happening every Wednesday at 8 p.m., enjoy a night of karaoke hosted by the legend Vicky St. James. Naptown Pageants is back with their first ever MX Naptown pageant. Their theme this year is Candyland Nightmare, happening on Saturday, October 17th.
Not here,
Would you
yeah.
grab a napkin really quick to
I know. I'm a hot man.
This is so good so far. But
You hear it?
I'm really loving all of the energy.
We may.
Getting the celebrity treatment.
You can like probably see. Let me see what the fan sounds like if I plug it in.
And then if you ever need me to repeat anything, just let me know.
Okay.
When I talk too fast, I really like to mumble,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a chatty Cathy,
Okay.
as you know.
Yeah.
So,
This is good.
Which is it's a good thing for stuff like this because we want you to like
you want me to be
tell
talking?
us more.
Yes.
As you know.
I'm just gonna blast it a little bit and then we'll hopefully to like air the space. Feel yourself.
I know
the
it's my
mic.
heated one.
I think at least the
It's like heated rivalry,
But
go within myself.
Welcome back to To Be Seen. This time around, we have the pleasure of having in the studio Peacock the Phoenix. Welcome back. For this part of the episode, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about something in particular in your experience that I think it's very important to talk about. You are a host, a stagehand, a community organizer, and a part of your journey is navigating spaces as a disabled artist. I would love to hear a little bit from you about how this experience has been. I know a lot of the spaces out there in the real world are not built for people like you in mind. So, how has it been navigating this process, especially as a drag performer?
That's a great question. And I will say, let's talk. Okay,
Yeah.
shall we? We shall. As somebody who had a pretty unique disability, bilateral atresia, I was also born with the umbilical cord wrapped underneath my right armpit around the left side of my head. So technically, in addition to having no ears,
Mhm.
the right side of my neck is about 1/3, 1/4 the side of my left neck. And if you ever notice, I have this slight tilt. That's a natural tilt in my head. When I was age 1, there's a photo of me on my first birthday. My head is literally on my shoulder. So, as a 32-year-old, disabled, Peacock the Phoenix, overcoming everything, I've been through 32 years of chiropractic care to help me realign myself. And that's kind of where the peacock comes from. Because peacock, they show their feathers. And they let you know that just because they're a little different doesn't mean that they aren't the best. And I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm saying we all
Mhm.
are the best. So with those two really big, unique disabilities, living in a world where everyone had ears and, people don't really know what a hearing aid is or the different types of hearing aids, it really, it showed me that just because someone doesn't know, it doesn't mean they don't want to know. They
Right.
just haven't had to be exposed to something like that. So my biggest thing as an Aries, who is also an Aries,
Yes.
my biggest thing is showing people that it's okay if people are different. I'm very different. Was it my choice? Hell no. I came out of that womb and I said, honey, I got no ears, I got a crooked neck, and I'm the gayest thing to come out of this town. You know what I'm saying? But with that and with drag, with anything creative, honestly, with your everyday life, don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to be what's inside. And yes, we live in a hectic world, but find those people that support you, but also find those people who see you. With how different you aren't just this little oddball that shouldn't be bothered. No, you deserve to have your people, your family, your friends. You deserve to have the goals, the dreams. And honey, for me, that was to become a drag queen. And not only did it once,
Twice.
I did it twice. And I think that in of itself should really let you know that you can do anything that you want to do no matter what you were born into in this world. Okay? Can I get an okay?
Okay.
Okay. And with that, the beautiful thing about drag is this is probably the most accepting community. And I've been a part of a lot of communities. I've done a lot of government in college. I've done a lot of volunteer work. I've done a lot of this and that with a rattle attack. But the most accepting community is the drag community.
Mhm.
Because we are all so vastly different that we need to find the one to who know that.
Mhm.
We need to find the one to know what it's like to be so out of the crowd. We don't want to be the crowd. We're here to give you a show.
Yes.
We're here to protect you. We are here to do it all. So we can have fun in a safe place. We are not out here trying to make you feel less bad or worse. We're out here trying to make you feel like that we know you can do it. The question is, do you know that you can? And when I did my first drag, my second drag, when I did drag last weekend, they all let me know, honey, you can do it. And you know what I did? I did it.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing, Peacock. I know that places like the back door go the extra mile to make sure that everyone, not only their patrons, but their performers, feel accepted and like they are getting taken care of. What would be your advice for hosts, producers, or even venues to make sure that we foster an environment where we have accessibility for everybody?
That is a great question, and I will say the back door is really good at it.
Mhm.
As of right now, I don't have my hearing aid on. I have a wig on. So I hear about 45%. And I will say I have been to venues where the music is not loud enough, and I've asked them to turn it off, and they didn't. And hey, that is what it is. But the one thing with the back door is they hear those who have a hearing disability, those who are in a wheelchair, those who, just aren't sure what to do. The back door offered a lot of things to help with that. And I really wish more places would. Because I don't want to go and give you a performance and not be able to hear my song start because then that really throws it off. I don't want that. You don't want that. Honey, I
Right.
didn't sign up for that. And I also don't want to go to a venue that won't let disabled people in because they don't have a wheelchair accessible entrance. That's a little silly to me,
Mhm.
especially in a world where everybody is trying to get us.
Right.
Why? Hold on. Why? Hold on. Let me lean in. Why? Not. Hmm. And I think the backdoor did a really good job of doing that.
Yeah. I think definitely more venues need to be a little bit more aware. And especially since we're a community that is so accepting and we strive to be so accepting and welcoming to everybody, then we do need to actually be accepting and mindful of everybody
Everybody.
to come that can come at the door, that being it could be somebody that might need wheelchair access or even hearing disabilities. Like it's important to take those things in mind. I do love shows like Riot Night that they have an interpreter on stage at all times. I feel like it's really cool to see at a local drag show to have somebody that does ASL.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I really, really, really like to see at venues. What would you say to another disabled person that would want to pursue drag or become a performer? What would be your biggest piece of advice?
What a great question. And let me zone in. Hi there. You have a disability and you think you can't do it? But my biggest question to you is, have you tried? Because you may realize you could do a lot more things than you thought you could. You just need to try. Just give it a try. When I first did drag, my makeup was like, my outfit was, but I had the best time because I felt accepted. And yeah, I've been doing drag for what, 4 or 5 years, and it's getting better and better, and it will continue to get better and better. But one thing I have to say to you and to the whole world is do not doubt yourself. If you don't try, how are you going to know? And they always say, and this is one of my biggest things. I know I'm a talker, I'm a chatty Cathy. Perfection does not exist. It's an ideology that they try to instill upon you because they think that you cannot reach it. Honey, if you try, you're doing more than that idea of perfection. If you keep trying, you're going to turn into yourself better, more forward, and to the best ability that you can. Perfection does not exist, honey. Get rid of it. We don't know her. Unless it's your drag name, but that's a really funky drag name. I'll say that right now. Try. And if your first try does not work out, why not try again? Why not try in a different space? Try with different performers. You know, maybe even try with a different form of creativity outlet that you can give. Why not try? And if you're going to sit here and tell me, well, I don't have the time, I don't got the money, you think I do? Honey, we don't play like that. If you're not willing to try, then what's the tea, honey?
That really is beautiful advice to give to anybody watching out there that might be going through a similar journey and would want to step out into the performance world. I have one more question for you
Yeah.
before we reach out the end of this segment, and that is when audiences see Peacock the Phoenix, what would you hope that they walk away feeling?
My biggest thing when I perform to you, my biggest thing is when I get on that stage, I want you to see what I can do, but I also want you to see what you can do. And my favorite thing about performing is I really love to look you in the eyes, bring you in, and let you know, honey, I'm here to let you know you're going to have a good time. I'm going to have a good time. We're safe. We are respectful. We are responsible. And we are willing to give you a show. So, why not you? And whenever you do see Peacock the Phoenix, not only is she picking up the tip for everybody, not only is she helping to host the show, not only is she giving you 1, 2, maybe 3 numbers, honey. If you're lucky, she's there to give you a show, a theatrical experience so that you know there's a good time out there, a good, safe, respectful shindig of a show. And honey, when Peacock did it, honey, she'll give you the phoenix of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I know you do.
Yes. And I really hope I am so happy that people and our audience is getting to know you a little bit better. And if you do have the opportunity to come down to the back door and see Peacock at one of her shows, or even you will see Peacock around either doing stagehand or helping with stage kittening, I do invite you because you're truly gonna feel all of this infectious, lovely energy that you do have around you. So thank you so much for spending the time to sitting here and talking with me today. We have reached the end of our show, but before we go, we do have a signature closer here at To Be Seen, and we just want to give our guests the opportunity to address the audience one more time and just say whatever last message you want to leave people with today. So whenever you're ready, you can look at the camera and just leave the audience with whatever message or whatever thing you would like to say to them.
I love this.
Mhm.
I have a thing that I have created for me, myself, and I, for you and all of you out there. Are you ready? Here it goes. You are the only you that you're going to be with your whole entire life. So you have to be okay with who? That's right, honey boo. You!
This has been the beautiful Peacock the Phoenix. Thank you so much for doing this again. This has been such a blast, and thank you for being a part of our brand new season of To Be Seen. I am so excited to keep getting to know you, keep working with you, keep having those great times. The day that we're filming this, I do have a show later at the back door. So I know we're about to have a good time later today.
Honey, I'll be there.
So make sure you keep supporting Peacock on all of her endeavors. Make sure you go pay her a visit at the back door if you have a chance to go catch a show there. And make sure you comment, like, and subscribe on this episode of To Be Seen. That's the biggest help we can get so we can keep bringing you these stories and so we can keep building this beautiful platform that we are trying to build. We love you so much. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
Yes, we will.
Thank you, Peacock.
Thank you, my dear.
Yes. We'll see you next time. We love you.